Okay, let's try this again. It's on public, right?
Hello. Okay, here we go. All
right.
Here we go.
Can you hear us, Mona? Okay, she can hear us. All right, so start this over. So hey y'all, it's Wednesday. We're back.
We trying to get over this hump, clearly.
With another episode of Wine&Grow with Ken and Kay. It's Wednesday, Wine Down Wednesday with Ken and Kay. I'm Ken.
I'm Kay.
She's Kay, I'm Ken, and this is Wine&Grow. We wine when we grow, and when we grow, we need wine. So we're here with another discussion. Topic of the week is, you are the toxic piece of your toxic relationship. This is for the grown folk and the grown folk only. Last week we talked a little bit about daddy issues. We had all the male participation. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all. Big ups to Darius and Mike for being on and giving us the input that they had on the different conversations to have with young boys. We appreciate it. This week is free for all. We want all the love, all the participation again. So if we saying something nice, saying something bad, whatever,
let us know.
Come on in, join the conversation. So, I feel like it's so much area up here. Yeah. So, being a toxic piece of your toxic relationship. This is basically the point of, this is what we basically talk about this almost every episode. You holding yourself accountable, right? So this is a point where you get in your relationship or your past relationships where you be looking back on and you like, I did this, I did that, so you start to realize that you had issues in the relationship too. Mm-hmm. We so commonly want to blame other people for why our relationships ended or why something didn't go the way we wanted it, we thought it would go. Mm-hmm. And we never really want to hold ourselves accountable for our roles in those relationships ending or not working out. So this is what this discussion is all about. That you could be the problem, which we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear that.
Have you ever been a toxic?
Oh, most definitely. I'm not saying that that it was all me.
Yeah.
I was just the toxic piece. And I'm not saying that you're completely the toxic piece in your toxic relationship, but we're all pieces of the puzzle. Yes. It can't just be one person doing everything, so, I mean, and there may be cases where it could have been, but
in situations where that person is not good for you, you continue to go back after you complain.
You're toxic.
So much. You are a piece of that toxic relationship.
Yeah, so I have been. And even the relationships where I felt like, oh, I could have really blamed it on the other person. When I really think about it and think deeper, I'm like, okay, I did play a role in this. I played a role in that. There may be things that another person did to lead me to what I did, but I played the role in it too.
Because you reacted.
I reacted, and I control my reactions, So that's why I say, this is basically an accountability conversation where you're holding yourself accountable for the things that you did. For instance, okay, if I want to use just say an example, a real life example. When I found out I was being cheated on, and then I basically went ballistic in public. That was very toxic. And I basically dragged this person out of the club.
Never mind. Because I was like,
dragged them out of the club, and then was all outside in the middle of the street arguing and fussing. Yeah, it was crazy. And I put my hands on them. I ain't gonna lie. I put my hands on them. But I felt justified in it because of what I found out. Because I felt like, well, you out here doing this, you out here doing that. So that's why I did this.
It must be disrespectful.
Yeah.
It must be disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
For real.
Yeah.
So it's just like, in those moments, I feel like, some moments are justified. Because
I
feel it could have been handled different. It could have been handled differently.
Yeah. Me being upset was justified, but my reaction was not.
Your reaction was your reaction because of what happened. Because you don't always know how you're gonna react in those type of situations. So that was the reaction that happened. It was just that severe. Now the extraness, the other part of that, some of that.
That's why I said I had a right to be mad, but to respond the way I responded was just out of control, in my opinion. And like I said, when I look back at it, it's embarrassing, honestly. But even before that, even before it got to that point, I was still a part of the toxicity of it. Because and I've mentioned this before on the show, this person told me that they had issues with being faithful. Yeah. And me being not being whole and healed enough to know how to remove myself from a situation, I thought that I could change someone and help them and, make them be right for me, instead of taking that as a red flag and moving on. So I kept myself in a situation that would get me to a place where I would act like that, when I could have removed myself early on and not even got near.
And that'd be most of the reasons why we end up in toxic situations, because we're not really listening to what these people are saying. And even if we feel like we're listening, we feel like we can change them. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that better.
Yeah, we're a lot brighter.
Yeah.
I want to turn it down a little bit because it's a little bright in my eyes. But other than that.
Y'all know when we go live, I blink the most when we go live. Not any other. I don't blink this much any other time.
I think it'd be the reaction of us looking at ourselves, because you primarily looking at yourself when you talking. Yeah. You be looking like, okay.
You don't blink like that.
Yeah. I don't know what I do.
Yeah, I think that we become toxic when we become a toxic piece when we're not taking what they're saying to heart, because they're telling us the truth. And we be like, okay, well, maybe later on down the line things will change, or I can help this person get them whatever they need to change. And it don't work, and we constantly getting upset, but we still sticking around.
Yeah. And even just like
that's just friendships, relationships. My child just released a friend today.
Talking about release.
Release. She set somebody free today. But what you was about to say?
No, I was just gonna speak more to my experiences.
Yeah.
So
I've been toxic. I just had to, I had to block somebody because I realized that situation was toxic. Because there's just no way. There's just no way. Knowing what I know and knowing where I am, there was just no way I could keep dealing with that.
Yeah.
So I've argued with people in parking lots on numerous occasions. I don't think I ever put my hands on nobody when I'm upset. Maybe not that person, but wanting to put my hands on other people, because after that we would go other places and I would be in a messed up mood.
Yeah. You know what? And toxic behavior is learned. Because the way I responded in that situation was a direct result of how I dealt with anger in my previous relationship. Because in that relationship, physical things happen quite often when we would get upset. So it was like almost like I expected that, to happen. And when we had the big fallout, when that wasn't the case, like he was like, "What? Hold on, what is this?" Whereas before it was more so of a back and forth, so I took that, and that's mostly how we become toxic. And the next, we take toxic behavior to the next thing, because we're not taking the time to heal, which we say a lot. Take the time to heal and break down, what you went through in your previous situation before you move on, because you'll take that, good or bad, into the next relationship, and you don't want that. Yeah. Definitely not the bad stuff. You don't want to take that over, and that's basically what happened. I took my negative experience over and put it into that relationship, because that whole situation was just a replay. Not the cause of it, but the actual way it played out was just a replay of something that happened in a previous relationship. I thought that was literally okay, because I had did it before. And the time when it happened before, it was not because of me. So this time I caused it, but before I wasn't the cause. And that's crazy. Because, just thinking back on how embarrassed I was, and just, different things like that. Then for me to inflict that same embarrassment on somebody.
Do you know that sounds like you just sounded like one of the snippets on Jasmine Sullivan album.
For real.
Because when the tables is turned, it's crazy.
It'd be real.
But I didn't have those type of experiences before though. Like because I am not a person that likes confrontation. I'm not a person that likes to argue. And I will tell somebody, please do not try to have a serious conversation with me in public. Mm-hmm. Because and now another thing is because I do know that because I don't like having these conversations, I'm trying not to give you that. But then it'll be to the point where you really poking this bell, and she finna wake up, and then I just explode. Yeah. But that's the toxic trait of mine because that was me holding things in versus just talking it out until I felt like I was ready, and I still do that. But I just choose. But I choose to do it now because I know that I don't want to talk with so much emotion and end up saying something that I don't want to say, and knowing that in that time I may not mean it. Yeah. And when you saying stuff that you don't mean, people gonna take that to heart because they're gonna say, well, you said it, so it must be true. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why that always ends up happening that happened to me so frequently during that time.
And another thing in toxic relationships, like for you to know that you are the problem, it comes from you actually listening to the other person. Like them telling you what you did. Because a lot of time, like I said earlier on, we focus on what somebody did to us. And we don't think about their side of the story. Mm-hmm. A lot of things that I learned about my own toxic behavior came from me directly talking to these people that I was in relationships with. And just, hearing out their side of the story. Like, well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And, well, you did this and it made me feel this way, and it was just a discussion back and forth, so they wanted to know what they did. I wanted to know what I did, and that was that was a healing conversation, and that was on more than one account for me. Like it literally, I've had these conversations with a couple of my exes, of just trying to grow and be better for myself. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I have to stop playing the blame game. It can't always be somebody else's fault. It can't.
See, I ain't been in too many relationships.
But it's like what you said, it's deeper than just a relationship. Yeah. A friendship too.
Friendships, yeah. Yeah. But mostly, friendships too. But yeah, I haven't been in too many types of situations. Well, I know now that I'm learning, that's what I've been working on, speaking up. And because it's still, even in friendships, it's still not something that I need to be doing, keeping stuff to myself when I'm feeling ways. And but I think that now it's just, if I'm not saying that, I'm just trying to be understanding of another person's situation. And I think that's what it is mainly for me now. Just trying to be understanding. I can't get frustrated with another person over something that they can't control. Mm-hmm. I can only control what I do. They can only control how their situation is. And that's it. Other than that, like I said, it's just being understanding and listening to the other person.
Yeah. But you got to be willing.
Yeah.
You got to be willing for sure.
And this is all a part of healing. Y'all got to be willing to work on yourselves, willing to acknowledge that you have toxic traits or you played a role in certain situations.
Or even if you didn't, if you really just genuinely don't feel like you did anything wrong, just taking a moment to ask someone their opinion. Mm-hmm. That in itself, you may learn something, because a lot of times we're not mature enough to be able to just look from the outside, to put ourselves on the outside, and be like, okay, I see what I did there. Like, you literally need somebody else to tell you, and so you want to have those conversations. Like, I remember when I even did this with my friends, like, and a couple of my family members, like, I sent a message, and I just asked them, like, how was I in my relationship with them? Was there anything that I did, that I do that's wrong? And is there anything that I could do better? Like, I literally took an inventory of the closest relationships in my life. And I asked those people for their honest opinions on me. Like, and it helped. It helped me, because, again, that wasn't just about romantic relationship, but that's just about how I deal with people in general. Mm-hmm. Because we have relationships with people every day. And we really have to think about the way that we approach. Like, I had to learn, the hard way that my tone could be harsh, and that came through me, doing different leadership things, when I was on campus at Northern, leading different things at work, people really, my friends and coworkers who were close to me just being able to be honest with me and say, Ken, look, we love you. I love you. And because I love you, I know you ain't mean nothing by that. But these people don't know you. So you gotta present that a little differently. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. After I done heard it a couple times, like, okay, it's gotta be some truth to this. Because at first I was just like, no, like, this is my excuse. This is just who I am. I talk loud because I have emotions and I care about this topic, and all the women in my family are loud, blah, blah, blah. That was always constantly my excuse. I never wanted to change the issue.
I was about to say that's the excuse of a person that does not want to change.
Exactly. I just didn't want to change. I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, y'all just have to accept that this is me, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't care about how anybody else felt. You know, so I had to learn, you know, again, from people who actually cared and loved me. When I started hearing that from them, I'm like, okay, it's got to be some truth to this. So we have to be honest with our people. We got to help each other be better. And I was talking to, I was listening to a message on Instagram from somebody, and he was just talking about how we have to be around people who hold us accountable. And that's so true. And we talked about that before too. Just being around people who's going to be real with us. Like, some people like yes men in their corner. Just telling you, yeah, oh, that's cute. Oh, yeah, girl, you was right. Blah, blah, blah. When you was dead wrong and you look pops. You know, like, we need people who going to be honest. For real. and my family too, Kalila, like, no issue, like, no lie. And then I was a cheerleader for practically my whole teenage life, so it's like I felt like I had every excuse to be loud, and I'm a loud talker, but I've learned how to present things better when I need to. I learned how to adjust my tones. That's just what I had to do.
Tone is everything.
Yeah,
that's one reason why I like talking to people in person.
Yeah. Girl, it's just the dogs on the song. Oh. She hear the dogs barking on the song.
Because I ain't even hear the dogs. That's what's crazy.
She crazy. Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, yell, like, are you saying yell like just talking loud, or just like yelling at people, yelling at him?
She probably thinks like she just being loud and she be yelling. Like I do.
How you learn though? Because baby, I'm struck. Well, I mean, the thing about it is, it's something that you're aware of. If you know that you is loud and your husband's tired of it, you got to simmer down. And
that's how I learned. Like, it's that once I realized and recognized it, I'm like, okay, now I need to change it. You're aware of it, so now you can change it.
When you get mad, you yell. So this is because I had to do this with my kids. Because, I mean, I think that's just what we all do when we get mad, we yell. Because that's just what we grew up with. Mm-hmm. Our mamas did it, our daddies did it. That's just what it was. That's a learned, to me, that's a learned behavior.
That is a learned behavior.
So I had an instance where I was yelling at my daughter at one time, and she just seemed so scared. And y'all know not to play with y'all parents. If they walk past and you know you did something, you thinking they finna hit you. Stuff like that bothered me, y'all. That bothered me. And even yelling at them, I shouldn't have to yell. Y'all can hear me when I'm talking in my regular voice. After that, I stopped yelling. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm gonna talk to you because I know you understand. And from there, if you still don't do what I'm saying, there will be consequences. It's just that simple.
This is the thing. This is what I realized. It takes more energy from me being upset and yelling than anything.
Hello?
Like, I'm depleting so much energy when I'm yelling and frustrated and stuff. I'm exhausted. And they still gonna do
after you whoop the kids, you
exactly. Like, I don't have time. They gonna
cry themselves to sleep. You still trying to simmer down yourself.
Yeah, but even when it comes to relationships and talking to men, you know, people that I dated and friends and stuff, I'm just not going to get upset. It takes too much. Like, literally, I give myself a moment. I'm talking about a moment to be upset about something. And then I literally just, I had to learn to not speak when I'm upset. Like, this has been some work. Because, like, not being able to say the first thing to come to my mind when you say something that I don't like or disagree with or that I feel like I didn't deserve. Like, I'm like, you know what? Just don't respond. Don't respond right away. Give yourself time to register what happened, because then if I take that time, then I don't yell, then I don't say things that I don't mean, you know, out of frustration. Mm-hmm. So that's we hear that a lot, and it actually works. If you just give yourself that moment to just let it register. Don't respond right away. You'll learn.
Especially because you're not responding just to
defend yourself.
That you actually listening and comprehending what this person is saying, and then you're going to respond. But of course, it's still when you're ready for that, because you do want to calm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I because in the end, even when just thinking about the past situations,
we ain't trying to make it sound easy.
The thing, I mean, because it is a lot of work, but it's still all about just doing it.
Yeah,
that's the easiest part. Is just doing it.
It's planting a seed. You're gonna start somewhere.
Yeah,
and eventually you're gonna be doing it.
Y'all know what? And this has nothing to do with this, but my son, when first of all, he stutters. He has a bad stutter, and when he's telling a story, he goes and then. Mind you, he can only get 2 words out before he say and then might follow that and then. So the other day I said, you say when you telling a story, don't say and then. Stop trying to say and then after every word you say. And he started catching on to the fact that he was saying it, which started slowing him down, which started making him process his words.
And he was thinking about it,
right.
What he was saying.
So
before
I
he said
me telling you this is making you aware that you're doing this.
Yeah. And going back up to Keisha's comment, she said basically like telling somebody, that what they telling somebody what they want to hear is a toxic trait, and it is. Like being an enabler, being a people pleaser, that's definitely toxic. That's because those, that's just toxic.
Because ain't no other way.
Like, it's just no other way to say it. Like I was like, no excuses for it. Like, you don't want to be that toxic person who just tells people, yeah, it's good.
Don't be a yes man.
Yeah.
Don't be a yes man. Being a yes man means that you why is it so what's the word I'm looking for? Why do you want to please people so bad? Everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody is not gonna like you. So you ain't got to say yes to everything. You ain't got to do everything somebody asks you to do. It is what it is after that. How they feel is how they feel, but you don't have to. You just don't. Just don't. Just don't. And I had to learn that myself.
Yeah, for sure. That's like yesterday I did a live video talking about just my journey to becoming a mom and stuff. Telling my story of being a teen mom. And somebody asked me, because I was telling them like she was just talking about how my drive to like get pushed by and what was pushing me and stuff, and I was just talking about how it was really just I just needed to prove to everybody that I still could do it. I could still be successful. I could still graduate. I could still do everything I said I was going to do before I got pregnant when I was pregnant. And then somebody asked me, like, will I, have you learned to basically live life without trying to prove people wrong? And I was like, damn, that's deep. But I have, because I realized, like, along this healing journey that even that, was an issue, trying to live my life to prove other people wrong. And, and that came with religion and church and all of that stuff, like, feeling like I needed to be this type of perfect person, doing everything right and stuff. Like, I just had to let all of that go. I had to literally learn to wake up and do what Kenyatta wanted to do and not worry about it. And that what helped me in that was taking time to be by myself, like taking moments off social media where I didn't post anything. Like even now I post a lot less than what I used to, because I'm like, I want to make sure that what I'm posting is because I really want to share it, and somebody can learn from this or whatever, or it's something that's really good versus me just sharing stuff, trying to pretend like I'm happy or trying to pretend like this is what's going on. Like, no, like this is genuinely what I'm going through, and I want to enjoy those moments privately, so I just had to learn that, like making sure that what I'm doing is for me. So I'm just learning not to post everything, because then I know I'm not seeking validation. Just not.
Yeah, I barely post. I barely post anything. I don't know if it's because I'm just not super big with social media anymore after being on it for so long. And then when I take those breaks from social media be so great, because taking in so much stuff on here, I only go on there to laugh. I promise I do. I stay sending her videos of funny stuff. I like to laugh. That's what brings me peace. That's what makes me happy, laughing. I don't want to see all this negative stuff. Hey
Asia.
Come on, no.
Nova, stop.
I don't want to see all this other stuff that be going on. I don't care about nobody business for real. She tripping, y'all.
Standing in the street. My protector. She seen the boy standing in the street. She's like, who is that out there? You coming in here? No, you're not.
But yeah.
Y'all don't got no questions about being a toxic piece of your toxic relationship? This is basically just accountability and accountability a self-accountability conversation. You know, like, don't stop looking for what somebody else did wrong to you. But, you know, start evaluating situations and trying to see it from other people's perspective. If it's not something that's easy for you, then ask somebody else.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure if you have been in your friendships or relationships, if somebody's ever said that you've done this to them, really think about that. Mm-hmm. Really think about that. Because it's probably not just that one person that said that. It's probably many more. And even if it is that one person, that one thing can still be something that you probably carrying along. And it's not coming out in every relationship or friendship that you're in. But it's there, and you want to take a look at it and evaluate yourself and just to see what is the things that you can work on, small or big.
Yeah. Don't dismiss the opinions of other people so quickly.
Yeah.
Don't think you just so above changing that you don't need to hear what anybody else have to say about you. Some people just so into themselves and I'm living my life for me. Like, that can be toxic. You can get to that point of living your life for, you know, for yourself so hard
can't nobody
that
tell me nothing.
Nobody can tell you nothing. And that's not the point that you want to get to.
Hey, Sid! She said, I just had to hold myself accountable for the first time a couple weeks ago. I feel so bad. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Period. Mm-hmm. Y'all, we grown. We grown. Look, let me tell y'all something. My son watched CJ So Cool. Period. Have to stay teachable. Yes.
For real. Yes.
My son be watching CJ So Cool. On YouTube, y'all. If anybody got kids, I don't know if everybody kids watch CJ So Cool, but this man, he done cheated on his
girlfriend?
Partner. Because I didn't want to call her his girlfriend, and because years ago he proposed to her, even though they never got married. You know, his partner. So, and they got two kids together, but then they had, you know, a blended family. Cheated on her. It's on the internet or whatever. Don't laugh at me, y'all. And this man, he was crying on the most recent video because, you know, they done moved out. The son then took all the pictures out the room and took them with him or whatever. He's talking about, I'm only 30. I'm still a kid.
Who said that? The man?
Girl, I said.
You want Savion to watch that?
But that's never happened. Like,
right.
But when he said that, I just was like, first of all, you a grown man. Hold yourself accountable for the stuff that you done did, because what you did was wrong for your family. Your family left you, bro, and you talking about you still a kid? We can't
use the I'm still learning excuse forever. Matter
of fact, he the same age as us.
People want to be like, I'm still learning. Forgive me. Be patient with me. Like, when you gonna get it?
You knew you messing around on your girl was gonna get her to leave you.
Yeah.
Especially if it's probably happened before, because she ain't just up and leaving.
I know you fucking lying. Right. Come on.
Right. Thank you. So I'm still a kid. Bro.
Hilarious.
Just because you got kids watching you don't mean you still a kid. You was grown. You know what's wrong and right. You knew you shouldn't have been messing around with other people. Hold yourself accountable, dog. Mm-hmm. Women and men, y'all, just because y'all in y'all 30s, y'all is not kids no more.
Mm-hmm. It's not. I was into Life Jennings, a song by Life Jennings. I think it was Never Neverland. Mm-hmm. And he was like, at the end of the song, when he say, no matter what nobody say, like the exactly 30s, like it's not the 20s, not the new 20s. It's still the same old 30s. Like, because, and that's funny because I'm like, I listened to it when I listened to it back then when I was in my 20s and used to look at 30, you know, like being old. Oh. Like, and then you try to, now we're 30 and it's like, I don't feel
I ain't
old,
young.
But I know I'm not old. Exactly. It's like, I don't feel old, but I feel a lot more mature than I was in my 20s. And I would never want to say that this 30s is my new 20s. Like, no, because I'm a different person. I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of the growth. So I don't want to relive those 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think that your 30s is when you should be a little bit more wiser.
Yes, you should start applying those lessons. Like, the 20s was like just years of just lessons. And 30 should be, of course you're going to get lessons throughout your life.
Yeah.
But 30 should be where you should actually, like you said, you'll be wiser and you should start applying those things.
Yeah.
Like, that's when your self-accountability should definitely kick in. By the time you're 30.
Self-awareness, self-accountability, all of that needs to start kicking in now.
Because this is times when people are getting into their careers, they're settling down and getting married, having kids. Like, right, a lot of people already have them and stuff and get into it. But, like, this is the prime years when your life really starts to come together. So if you don't got self-awareness and self-accountability, then you really are still 20. And you need to grow up. Like, if you're not even in a space in your life where you're ready to just, like, heal and be a better you, yes. I don't know what to tell you.
Man. Because at this point, if I ain't feeling you, I ain't feeling you.
Yeah.
I ain't feeling you. I will. That was a chop. Cut. I don't care at this point. I'm cutting everybody off.
Yeah, very much young at heart. Forever.
Period.
Forever young.
Look at these faces.
Forever young. If y'all know me, y'all know my mama. Forever young. Okay? Because I'm Peggy's daughter.
Peggy be at it, okay?
So.
Oh, I love Peggy. I'm Christy Lynn's daughter, y'all, but I'm forever young. Okay?
For real.
Because Lynn be on spoiled stuff. Hey, Lynn. Because I know you probably watching this or go watch this.
This has been a great conversation. Like, and I'm just really, when I think about this topic, like I said, I'll just look back over the different things that I've been through and the different roles and I seen in my memories a couple days ago, like a meme that I had posted that basically said, I apologize if I've ever hurt you. Like I'm learning and I'm growing and that is so sincere. Like anybody that I've dated, my friends, people who I'm not friends with anymore, family members, whatever, like I have, like I apologize for any heartbreak or heartache that I've caused in my brokenness. Mm-hmm. Like I am learning and I am truly trying to be a better person. And I see it every day. And just the way that I deal with different things, like I said, just learning to be silent until I'm ready to respond instead of responding right away, so that I don't put off that same toxicity that I used to. Yeah. So. Yeah. And just learning my triggers, right? That's important, and not being a toxic person. You have to know your triggers. You have to know when somebody is doing something that's going to cause you to go above and beyond. So that way you can stop it before it get there. Yeah. You got to remove yourself. Right. You got to watch what you put inside of your mind, who you got in your space. Like, and we can't say this enough. Energy matters. So you got to be careful about that, especially if you're trying to be a better person. You can't keep that same old energy around you and you trying to elevate. If they're not trying to do better and have good conversations and positive conversations with you, you need to remove yourself. Because then people just going to keep you down. Period. You're not going to be able to grow like that.
Absolutely not.
So as you elevate, people going to slowly fall off. You got to let them.
I don't ask no questions.
Let them.
I promise you I don't ask no questions. Because when it's time to go, they going to go.
Yeah. Stop trying to hold on to people who ain't supposed to be in your life.
Man. And that's what
Stop trying to hold on to your old self. Okay? Let yourself go. Take hold of that new person.
Get uncomfortable.
Yes, like another thing that I had to learn. Just stop saying that that's just me. Like that term had to die. It's not just me. Like literally the behavior that I displayed is because of who I was in that season. Mm-hmm. And as I grow, of course there's things about me that are still the same. Because that is my character. I love to have a good time, y'all. When you see me, you're going to see me dancing. You're going to see me having fun and engaging and socializing, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a different level. There's a different way as I grow to do those things. Yeah. So, let go of that old you and embrace the new you. Yeah. Okay. Well, what time is it? I don't know. 7:40. Well, we did have a little in the beginning. Yeah. We started this video twice. We had a little in the beginning. You got any last words you want to share with the people? What's next week's topic? So, y'all, we coming up on the close. This is episode 5, so we got 3 more.
And, you know, I be trying not to talk about the fact that we finna end. But
I bring it up every episode.
But look, I try not to even get excited, because people be like, y'all sure y'all want to end?
People just now starting to watch us now, and they're like, oh my God, I had somebody tell me that, like, oh my God, I love y'all show, blah blah blah. I see y'all, you know, and I'm just like, you just don't know this is about to be done.
I'm ready. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
Like it's taking its course, you know, like, and like we just saying, like, learning how to let go of things. Like, there's like, we're grateful for the support that we've been getting and stuff, and like, but there's no reason to push it out if it's not there. Like, this has been natural from day one,
and it becomes real work if we doing that. Something y'all know, y'all be going to work and don't be wanting to be there, and this will become that.
You never know. We may have some pop-up episodes. We may be like, you know what, girl, let's talk about that. Let's have a replay. You know, like, who knows? But we just know that we done, and we'll see what comes after that.
Exactly. So next episode is be patient with your growth.
Oh, that's gonna be good. Make sure y'all invite people to come out next week. Being patient with your growth. That is very important. Very important. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. Just a takeaway from today. Let go of the old you. Don't hold on to your toxic ways. Stop making excuses for who you are, and allow yourself to evolve.
I like that.
Okay?
I agree.
And on that note, we're going to end. This has been Wine and Grow with Ken&Kay. Make sure you like, love, share the video, and subscribe if you would like to be notified when we go live again next week. Deuces.